Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're putting on our trade consultant hats. We're going to completely demystify how small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, can finally break through all that noise and unlock those incredibly lucrative global markets. Seriously, it's time to stop thinking local and start playing global. So let's just dive right into it. If you're an SME owner, you've probably felt this exact frustration. You've built a fantastic product, the quality, flawless. The production capacity is totally there. But you're locked out of the international arena by this invisible wall. You just don't have direct access to foreign buyers. And let's be real, sending cold emails to generic info at addresses halfway across the world, it literally feels like shouting into a black hole. Waking up at 3 a.m. to make international cold calls only to get hung up on? Yeah, not exactly a winning strategy. Sound familiar? Well, here's the good news. You absolutely don't need a massive corporate marketing budget to break down that wall. What you do need is a highly structured strategy. Today, I'm sharing a proven consultant's playbook. This methodology is drawn directly from experts with over 18 years of hardcore experience in trade and investment facilitation. It's an entire system designed specifically to drive sustainable SME growth, putting you right in front of the people who actually want to buy what you're selling. Here is our strategic roadmap for today's session. We'll start with the global market challenge, move into the big benefits for small businesses, break down the strategic matchmaking process, explore some incredible opportunities in Bangladesh, and wrap up with your next strategic move. All right, part one, the global market challenge and our shifting business world. You know, the traditional way of exploring international trade is, frankly, pretty broken for small businesses. It relies so heavily on wildly expensive travel to international exhibitions, endless cold emails, and just a terrifying amount of commercial risk. You're basically gambling. But the strategic matchmaking method, it completely replaces all that guesswork. By relying on highly targeted introductions and strictly verified partners, you vastly reduce your costs and completely bypass the biggest barrier in global trade, the trust deficit. It's all about working significantly smarter, not just spending harder. Moving on to part two, big benefits for small businesses, or what we like to call the matchmaking advantage. Now, we all know small businesses usually don't have a massive global marketing infrastructure. You don't have a dedicated international networking team just waiting on standby in 5 different time zones, right? But professional buyer-seller matchmaking cures those exact pain points by delivering 3 massive, game-changing benefits. We're talking market accessibility, cost efficiency, and absolutely crucial commercial risk reduction. When you apply this trio correctly, it literally levels the playing field against much larger corporate competitors. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it redefines market accessibility. It's not just about setting up a translated website and crossing your fingers. It's about bridging a massive information gap. Believe it or not, foreign importers are often desperate for your high-quality local supply, but they struggle to find reliable partners just as much as you struggle to find them. Matchmaking creates this direct, highly structured connectivity between what you have and what the world actively wants. It just completely removes the friction of discovery. But okay, let's address the massive elephant in the room here, risk. International trade comes with huge, terrifying concerns over product quality, compliance, and yes, outright scams. Sending a container of goods across an ocean without knowing if the check will actually clear, that's a nightmare scenario for any SME. Professional matchmaking effectively neutralizes this fear because experts conduct rigorous preliminary assessments. Both the buyer and the seller establish an absolute rock-solid foundation of trust before a single contract is ever drafted. Which brings us to part 3. The strategic matchmaking process. Let's look at the 3 strategic steps. So, pulling back the curtain on the consultant's playbook, this breaks down into 3 rigorous, completely non-negotiable steps: business profiling, business verification, and networking facilitation. These aren't just corporate buzzwords, guys. This is the exact machinery that transforms a totally cold lead into a thriving, long-term commercial relationship. If you skip even one of these steps, the entire trust equation just falls apart. Step 1 is business profiling. Think of this as building a highly detailed dating profile, but, for supply chains. Before any introductions happen, a matchmaking organization collects incredibly specific data. We're talking exact product categories, your actual production capacity, certifications, pricing expectations, and your past export experience. Collecting this comprehensive data upfront guarantees that when a connection is finally made, it is highly relevant and commercially viable. Nobody's time is wasted and expectations are perfectly aligned from day one. Then we have step 2, business verification. This involves intensely validating those business credentials, manufacturing capabilities, quality standards, and absolute compliance. So the crucial point here is that this is your ultimate trust builder. International buyers absolutely require this level of assurance before they commit their capital. If an expert consultant can vouch for your compliance and capabilities, you instantly jump to the front of the line in a buyer's mind. It's a real game changer. And step 3 is networking facilitation. This involves arranging targeted virtual meetings, highly focused B2B sessions, trade missions, and direct negotiations. A professional consultant doesn't just BCC you on an email and walk away, right? They actively facilitate the entire interaction. They help overcome complex language barriers, they navigate nuanced cultural differences and negotiation styles, and they provide trade advisory support on tricky things like shipping and customs regulations. All of this ensures a real, lasting partnership actually develops. All right, moving into part 4. Opportunities in Bangladesh, a truly thriving market. Yes, you read that number right. $48 billion. According to recent statistics, Bangladesh's export earnings exceeded $48 billion in the 2024 to 2025 financial year. I mean, to put that into perspective, that bold number validates the massive scale of wealth generation happening in this market right now. It is the ultimate case study of an emerging market driven heavily by increasing participation in global trade and strategic integration into international supply chains. The money is absolutely moving. And just look at where all that immense growth is happening. While ready-made garments and textiles definitely still lead the charge, the market is rapidly diversifying. We are seeing incredible new matchmaking avenues opening up in pharmaceuticals, high-quality leather, eco-friendly jute products, agro-processing, and a seriously booming ICT and digital services sector. The global demand for these diverse products is just surging. So what does this mean for you? It means that no matter your niche, whether it's cutting-edge tech, eco-friendly goods, or traditional manufacturing, matchmaking avenues are actively opening up. Right at the center of this ecosystem are professional matchmaking organizations like Trade and Investment Bangladesh, led by founder and CEO MD Joinal Abdin. They really serve as the blueprint for how this is done correctly. By combining market intelligence, digital strategy, and extensive international networking, they physically make these complex cross-border connections happen for SMEs. They essentially act as the reliable bridge between local potential and global realization. Finally, part 5, your next strategic move. Time to integrate globally. Just listen to this client testimonial from Mustafizur Rahman, the CEO of CanBiz Inc. up in Canada. He says, "Working with TNIB has been a highly professional and value-driven experience, a reliable partner for organizations seeking sustainable growth." This isn't just theory, folks, it's authoritative social proof. It shows exactly how a structured consulting methodology drives real, measurable, and highly profitable business outcomes across borders. It works, and it delivers sustainable growth. Which brings us to the ultimate question for you to ponder today. What is your business missing out on by staying local? You have the product. The demand absolutely exists out there in the world. So are you ready to utilize a strategic matchmaking playbook to finally integrate globally? It is time to stop letting invisible borders cap your potential. Start thinking about your business profile, get verified, and start facilitating those global connections. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.